It's the season finale and the end of the road for many drivers tonight in the Washington, D.C. Region Virtual Racing League. Oulton Park, one of UK's most renowned club circuits, plays host to the last race of the season for both the Mustang and the TCR championships. With Andrew Palata snagging the win in the season last week at Mid-Ohio, it's TCR where the dust has yet to settle in the battle for Track Night America entries for the DC Region SCCA Virtual Racing League. Hi everybody, Kyle Heyer joined by Connor Horn tonight for the last round of the season in the WDCR SCCA Virtual Racing League. And Connor, we are about 8 rounds in. We've got one more fun race to do next week, but for tonight, we get to finish off the season and the points championships.
Yes, no doubt about it. I've loved these Mustangs all season long. They've been an absolute blast to watch. It's a pretty good predecessor to the TCR races. I'm excited for this one. Never really watched a race or even ran a race at Oulton Park, so I'm excited to see what's in store.
Tonight we've got 2 races in the schedule. We've got the Mustang race, of course, and then we've got the TCR race at the end of the night. That's going to be the fun one. That's where the championship is going down to the wire. DJ Alessandrini has the advantage over Morgan Burkhardt by 22 points. Then it's Andrew Palata third, Ken Auseal and John Chrissy fourth in 5th place. Qualifying underway now for the Mustangs. Andrew Palata has already claimed the championship in this series, but he's out for blood one more time, Connor. He's had an almost unbeatable season.
He's been pretty much unbeatable, no doubt about it. In the 6 of the 7 races he's competed in, he's won, I believe, I'm trying to look, he's won 5 of those 6 races. His only non-win when he runs, Road Atlanta, finishing second to Paul Darling, I believe. Every other race he's led at most of these races, he's led the majority of the laps. He led every lap at Virginia, every lap at Circuit of the Americas, every lap at Brands Hatch. He's just been a dominant force in these Mustangs, and it's been really hard to beat him. Almost completely unbeatable, like you were talking about.
Have a look at the weather. It's a beautiful day here in the UK. 67 degrees Fahrenheit in the air, 72 degrees Fahrenheit on the racetrack. And one of the defining features of this circuit is all the elevation change and how fast it comes at you. It's a fast and flowing circuit here, Connor, but with that elevation change comes a big challenge, and a lot of that comes on the run down to the loop at the end of this first sector. That banked corner that's after a left sweeper, really easy to put yourself off track there and then find yourself in the tire barrier.
Yeah, we'll see if that comes into play on potentially cold tires in this first lap after the start. See, I believe this is, I think this is Andrew Palata we're on board with, as he's on just some practice laps. He's second on the board right now. He goes nice and tight to that curb, really where you want to be. Don't want to really deviate your corner line there. You don't really want to diamond it. I think that's where you're going to want to be, right on that curb. And
we're running the layout of Oulton Park without the chicane, so he's going to breeze by Britton's and by his slop on the back straightaway, thundering all the way down to Knickerbrook. This is that fast right-hander. You're on the brakes, down a gear, but then you're going to clip that curb and maybe get a little bit of air, too. Watch Palata right through it, sneaks through it, then it's up to Water Tower. That's the next corner, up under the bridge. That's the left. Then into Druids, one of my favorite corners in motorsports. Swing to the left, then back to the right, Connor. It is a very fast and potent combination of turns, and Palata expertly putting the car on the apexes.
Fast, potent, and you got to be precise. So difficult to do that in a corner where you're pretty much turning on entry. There's not many corners you can really take like that, and that's one of those corners that's just so unique to this track in a way. It's just so awesome to watch.
And right here, climbing onto the final turn and up onto the front straightaway. And across the line again, Palata's already run the lap times that he needs. 16 drivers in store for this one. Eddie Keterakis and Carlos Pratt, the last 2 that have yet to put in times. Peter Schnorr is on track at the moment. He's in the last couple turns, currently 5th. He's already actually run all 4 of his qualifying laps, and he will not improve on his final lap. Jonathan Crane is also out on track.
And he is completing his 3rd lap. Fastest lap so far, 141.7, 14th out of 14 as he comes through Druids, coming up to the line just shortly.
And on the brakes into the penultimate turn. Oh, off the apex there early, but does he tuck it in late? Doesn't quite get down to where he needs to be. Again, the track falls away, so it can be hard to pinpoint the car onto the apex. Across the line now for Crane. Needs to pick up a little bit of time. It was a 140.9, but invalid, went off track. And that will be the end of Crane's qualifying effort. So good weather here today and only 16 drivers. That means that we're going to see a pretty aggressive start with so little to lose for a lot of these drivers with the championship already complete, Connor. This is just going for bragging rights and wins, and Ken Auseal will sit on provisional pole.
And Ken Alcillo is going to be the first in line to try to take down the beast that is Andrew Palata in these Mustangs. He's been so hard to beat for poles, even, I believe, for the 6 races that Palata's ran, and he's gotten the pole. The only ones he didn't, Summit Point and Circuit of the Americas, but both those races ended up in wins, so it really doesn't matter at that point. Alcillo just has to get to a nice clean start. He's sort of struggled to do that in the Mustangs this season. We'll see if he can do well starting from the pole.
Yeah, standing starts again. We're running 6-speed H-pattern gearboxes, so you got to get up on that clutch and the shifter to get everything in gear quickly and efficiently. Now down to the racetrack to begin our race. Quick look at the starting lineup here, Connor. House Seal in the front row alongside Andrew Palata, and actually we're doing a rolling start for this guy, so we're going to move on into, I'm still in grid life mode from the other night. We're doing rolling starts this evening. This will give us a chance to go through the grid here. House Seal, Palata on the front row, and then in row 2 it's Kyle Herbst and Jake King.
See if Herbst can have a clean run tonight. Then row 3, Peter Schnorr and Bob Casera right next to each other. Casera so fast last week, see if he can back that up. Then row 4, it's Kevin Zhu alongside Peter Lausen.
And row number 5 in 9th will be Will Robinson, the number 35 car, and Adam Kobach starts 10th in the number 85 car.
And then outside the top 10, row number 6, Robbie Wilson and Louis Lacey, 11th and 12th. And then Chris Harp, Jonathan Crane, 13th and 14th. And then the final 2 drivers on the grid who did not put down the time, Carlos Pratt and Eddie Katarakis.
Yeah, so 8 rows of drivers going for a 20-minute race. Ausil, Palata, Herbst, King, Schnorr, your top 5, as previously mentioned. Another look at the weather real quick before we go green. Track temperature, again, just in the low 70s, so it should be high grip today, even with the sunny weather. That is typically the bane of the driver's existence, is when it's hot and slippery out there, Connor. It's going to be sunny, but high grip should be a lot of fun. And windy. Look at those trees.
Yeah, they are very windy, 12 miles per hour right now. It might gust even higher. We've seen a few hot tracks the last few weeks. Oran Park in Mid-Ohio, they got really high temperature-wise. Oran Park was about 130, so a drastic change from week to week it has been for these Mustangs. I think these drivers will welcome this change, though.
Field now rolling through Druids and towards the penultimate corner, and there you can see how much even the straightaways wander from side to side, and lots of elevation. You just follow along the white line here, Connor. You can see how much there's undulation, and these cars are relatively soft and can absorb those imperfections. When we get to the TCRs, they're going to be a lot more unsettled by that track surface.
It's going to be interesting to see the TCRs for sure, but these Mustangs really show how narrow this track is. Barely fit 2 cars comfortably.
It is narrow, it is fast, it is flowing. All the things that a Mustang is not particularly good at. Green flag flies, 20 minutes on the board. We're going racing for the final time this season in Mustangs in the DC Region Virtual Racing League. Into turn 1, House Seal clear of Palata. Here comes Herbst to the inside, and now Jake King follows suit.
Oh, a little bit of contact. Palata driven wide into the grass, and he's still going to make the pass. That's how dominant he's been this season. He went 2 tires, half his car into the grass, and he still made the pass.
Down the hill now, and Jake King muscles his way hurt by Herbst. Herbst slides out to the grass, but Palata into second place. Now the all-critical corner. 1 car way off in the backdrop. That's Eddie Katarakis. He's found his way into the tire bundles. Side by side here. Look out. Herbst around the outside. King on the inside. They get through it.
Herbst is going to likely take that position. Jake King can't really do much but get back in line and maybe get a run out of this sort of hairpin-like corner. Not able to do it. Herbst will sort of shoot away as the top 2 have shot away as well.
Jonathan Crane went for a loop on the run down to the hairpin after Island Bend. Jake King hounding Kyle Herbst right now for 3rd place.
He's got a little bit of a run. The draft is going to come into play a little bit on the front stretch, but especially sort of down this sort of back stretch of region. Herbst sort of hops it a little bit. 2 tires in the grass doesn't lose too much momentum compared to Jake King, though. It's going to be very difficult to keep up your momentum through that corner. Knickerbrook there, so we'll see if he's able to do that.
Yeah, King was really conservative onto the brake pedal into Knickerbrook there, and it was surprising because he backed off a full, 200 meters before the driver in front of him. A little bit surprising that he was able to jump on there so early and still make good speed through the corner.
Yeah, it's sort of gonna be what you want to do, though. Momentum in these Mustangs, believe it or not, it's difficult to do that for sure, and it's also very vital for this race because you really don't have too many very slow corners, a lot of fast flowing corners, so you don't have much time to really take your time through any of these corners to keep up your momentum. You have to just go for it.
There's Robbie Wilson in the blue number 171, chasing Will Robbins. And this will be a battle for 10th. Off into Island Bend again. This is a nerve-wracking area to be door-to-door.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be door-to-door here. You kind of just want to be patient here, but Robbie Wilson's going to go for it. Almost contact, almost went right into Will Robbins, but he's able to make it work. Has to get back in line.
Jumps on the brakes for the hairpin. Meanwhile, here's Andrew Palata, and Bob Casera is off track at corner exit. Got in the throttle a little too soon. He's going to drop a few, but Palata all over Ken Alseal for the top spot. Championship is won. This race still has yet to be decided, though.
Yeah, Casera just dropped the left rear off, and off he went. Very easy to do in these Mustangs, but Palata all over the rear bumper. Too aggressive there, left side's in the dirt there, able to get through. There's just some momentum. These two are pretty much battling on their own right now, but Kyle Herbst not too far behind, starting to catch up a little bit.
Yeah, if these two battle, Herbst could be in the picture. But I think with Palata having nothing really to lose, I think you're going to see aggression out of him that you might not have seen in weeks past when he was trying to preserve that points lead. With the championship in his hands, he can have the freedom to be really aggressive. Look at this, Peter Schnorr right in front of Peter Lausen, so the two Peters going at it for 5th.
Yep, 5th position. Peter Schnorr did get that. That was from Casera. Casera was 5th, fell back, so all those drivers moved up. Kevin Zhu on Peter Lausen in behind into turn number 1. That's a dicey place to go too wide. They'll make it work for the time being. Kevin Zhu's up a spot.
It's even scary to go side by side on the straightaways here, so everything everywhere is almost sketchy. But Zhu will grab the position in the 243 car. He started this race back in 7th, so he's up 1 spot now. As Eddie Keterakis has had another off at the exit of turn 1. It's been a troublesome, actually, this is in the last corner. And right here, just gets over the crest and the rear end steps out on him.
Yeah, tough day so far. Not able to really get the handle on the Mustang. Difficult to do at really any of these tracks because of how beefy this Mustang is and how it just does not want to be tamed.
Andrew Palata is a lot quicker than Ken Alseal right now, and he's being held up. Does Alseal go defensive as he moves back to the left? That's free real estate for Palata to the inside here, Connor, as they head towards Knickerbrook. And this is really, really dicey. On the brakes again, Alseal pulls ahead, jumps the curb. Palata understeers off course.
Boy. Way off course that time. Just didn't have the right apex into that corner, and it lost him a lot of time. Now here comes Kyle Herbst with the run.
Yeah, just too much throttle too soon. Way off track, but gathers it back up.
Yeah, definitely a good catch. Able to keep sort of at least a little bit of straight line speed out of there just to not lose that position outright to Herbst. Now he's got a lot more work to do to get back to that 23.
Bob Casera just went for a ride right here. Grabs the right side tires in the dirt, swings across in front of the 85 of Adam Kobach, and drops down to 11th.
This is an off-roading competition at this point. It's the final race of the season. Why not?
It's just hard to stay on the road here. A lot of exits at this track, particularly turn 1 and Druids, are really tight exits, and you kind of want a little more road than you're given. This is very similar to the old hairpin turn at Donington Park, where you kind of get to the exit of the corner and the track kind of closes and tightens up on you right when you want it to widen, which is a characteristic of a lot of other tracks from other places in the world, most notably America, where tracks like Watkins Glen, Sebring, Daytona, they kind of widen up on exit and give you the space to drift out. They don't do that here in the UK.
Yeah, I kind of like it. You don't really have anywhere to go out. You can't really extend the course, because if you extend the course, you're likely heading your way to one of those tire barriers out of a lot of these corners. So it makes you really have to be precise, sort of sharpen your game a little bit at a track like this.
Palata touching tires on the left side of the track. And again, this is just a fling corner. You can't effectively run through there door to door. So you have to basically set up your run into Druids or somewhere else on the track. Palata's definitely quicker, but he just has no way to get around Ken Alseal. He's going to have to wait for a mistake. Alseal overshoots Druids just a touch.
Yeah, we'll see if Palata has a really good run here. If he wants it, I think he needs to take it here. He keeps getting the run at turn 7, the wrong place to do it. Alseal defensive, back to the left side. Palata gives him a little bit of a shot for that crossover.
Don't have to do a lot to go defensive here. Move over 2 feet, and then the driver can't get around you. And was there a little contact there? Certainly looked like it.
A little bit for sure. Alseal kind of blocked to the right and then kind of got back to the left for the racing line apex. Palata kind of gave him a shot for that. Nothing dirty, just a little bit of shot saying, hey, I'm here and I'm faster. I want to pass.
And Herbst and King are right in the mix. The top 4 are broken away. There is a battle for 7th happening. Lausen, Kobach, and then Robbie Wilson and Will Robbins. But the most what's the word I was looking for? The most volatile battle is for the, thank you. You knew where I was going with that.
I've heard it before.
Up in the front, 0.2 of a second between the top two.
Caracas had another off, not the night for him, but yeah, a few battles all around, but top four definitely broken apart way far away, about 4.5, 5 seconds in front of 5th place Kevin Zhu, who's had a pretty decent drive from 7th to 5th so far, just sitting right in front of the Peters right now.
Up onto the back straightaway again. This is where Palata's been really good, but he hasn't been able to do anything with it. He's poked out a line a couple of times, but I think the pass is going to have to happen into the penultimate corner on the racetrack. I don't think you can do it here, but carried good speed.
A little bit of an off there for Jake King, gets back in line, but Palata's just timing a run wrong. Turn 7 is not the place to do it. If you're trying to pass there, you're asking to wreck you and the guy you're trying to pass, but Halcyon has a bunch of pressure on it. Palata was right to the bumper before that last corner. Now he's going to have to go protective again as Kyle Herbst closes in on this battle. Yeah,
it was impressive watching how late Halcyon was trail braking into the corner to try to get the nose to rotate. These cars 3,600 pounds and not exactly the most docile creatures to drive. They're like driving container ships around tracks like this, but Halcyon leaning on the front brakes to try to get the car to slow down.
Making it work for now, able to keep at least enough of a gap in between him and Andrew Palata that Palata can't do anything to turn 7. Palata had a bigger run before turn 7 and maybe got the nose ahead of if he got the nose ahead of Halcyon, then maybe he takes that shot to maybe try to clear him before the corner entry. But if you don't get at least an advantage into that corner, you're just asking to wreck the guy you're trying to pass.
Bob Casera and Robbie Wilson fighting for 10th place as we approach the halfway point. Herbst and King now becoming enthralled in their own fight.
Palata had to sort of check up at a sharp angle there. Halcyon kind of jammed on the brakes to get at the turn, and Palata wasn't ready for it. Halcyon, a little bit of a bigger gap this time, coming down the long back straightaway. Palata's not even going to be close enough to really even sort of dodge out to the right, but that might be better for the 96.
Well, as you mentioned, I don't think he was catching Halcyon in the right spot previously. Dab on the brakes here, and you can even see Halcyon's slowing him up at the apex. He needs to build a better run here and then get tight at Druids, and that's the corner where he really needs to find the advantage. I do think that Palata's better through Druids, but he's not quite close enough to take advantage of it when they get to corner exit.
Battle through Clay Hill and Watertown. Peter Lauzon had a wide exit out of 7. Adam Kobach's going to get that 6th position, and now Peter Schnorr tries to batter Lauzon back. Yeah, here's Kobach in front of this battle. We're looking at Lauzon in the orange and Peter Schnorr in the blue 32. Lauzon's right back to Kobach on the run of the penultimate corner. Go pretty much side by side here. Meanwhile, the battle for the lead a little bit closer into turn 1 this time. I don't think Palata has enough for a look into turn 1, just ever so slightly getting closer to Ken Halcyon's bumper when he needs to. Door to door now. Kobach and Lauzon into turn 1. 9 minutes and 50 seconds to go. Now Peter Schnorr has the door open as these two battle, but which side do you pick? I'd pick the side that I can keep all 4 tires on the track right there, as Bob Casera just got around Will Robbins for the 9th position around the outside in turn 1, which is pretty impressive to see. While these three continue to battle, up front it is tight for the top spot. Halcyon's got it, but not by much, maybe a quarter of a car length. Palata gearing up, slams the throttle down. Great run on exit of the hairpin. Oh, he misses a shift. Oh! He misses a gear, and here comes Herbst to the inside. That is huge for the race right there. You cannot miss a shift in that situation. Coming onto the longest straightaway, straight line speed is so important down here, and he lost all of it. He's going to be in the clutches of Jake King for a moment. I think you'll keep 3rd, but now it's Kyle Herbst who has to be on the attack. Yeah, that was a really well-timed misshift for Kyle Herbst. He's going to grab that spot and actually did an expert job of getting around Palata without running into the back of him. Oftentimes you kind of get into the habit of just following someone and kind of letting yourself zone out in kind of the race mode, but being able to check yourself out when someone misses a shift is a good thing, so you don't run into the back of them. Well, it's so easy to do that. You're just, kind of tuned into staying behind someone for slipstream, not even just at road course racing, really anywhere you need draft. Most of the NASCAR tracks, 1.5 miles and above, you kind of get into that rhythm. And sometimes you'll have an incident off of a corner and you won't be able to avoid it because you're just so in that rhythm of staying next to the wall, staying behind that person, and you'll just run into the back of them because you just don't know how to react any different because it's so much different from what you've been doing the past 50-plus laps. Kobach just massively understeered off in Druids and lost a whole bunch of spots. He's down to 11th now, so that will cost him some time. Palata's right back to Herbst now, and now he's got the same problem he did previously, but it's for a second instead of the lead. Allison still defending on Schnorr. They single it out, but it's going to be difficult for Palata to get back into position to battle for the lead. This is the best thing for Ken Alceel to have someone in between him and Palata. I don't think Kyle Herbst has really the pace to battle for the race lead with Alceel. Throws it into the corner, goes well wide. Palata looks low, can't do anything about it. This is where you might see Palata get aggressive into turn 7, but I just don't know if he's going to be close enough.
Well, there's also got to be some frustration from Palata, right? Because you make one mistake, not even a tactical mistake. It's literally just a physical one. You just miss that gearbox. You find the box of neutrals here in the Mustang. This car is a hard car to shift. He missed it once, and it put him back a spot, and now he's going to be stuck here unless he gets very creative. That's a frustrating situation, Connor. You've done everything right. You miss one shift, and you're out of the mix.
Yeah, you can't let it get the best of you, though. Just got to regroup, and if you can't pass Herbst, you got to hope that you can maybe even push him up there to a battle for the race lead, but Herbst a little bit wide there. Palata does have a run. This could be a shot to get that position back. He might have to force it.
Lots of battles happening here, but for second place, here comes Palata to the inside of Herbst. This is the overlap he needs. Short way around. Can he clear Herbst? No, they touch.
He tried to slide right in front of him, 3 wide for second. That can't work through here. It's not going to. Jake King so close to the pit wall. He's able to make it work. He's gone 4th to 2nd.
Oh, man, that was a great opportunistic move by Jake King there. The only place where you could possibly fit 3 cars wide. King and Herbst still side by side, and Palata seeing the win, only the second that he would have lost this season, slipping away. Look at Herbst on the bumper of King.
That was King sort of chopping the inside line off of Herbst there. Not going to get the run he probably wanted. Don't know if Herbst will really fight this. I think it's so late in the race, you kind of have to. You see Ken Alceel getting away. You probably should push Jake King or whoever gets the second place up ahead. But I think that 23 is already long gone.
Yeah, 1.5 seconds is the differential. King now feeling pressure from Herbst. He slides a little wide. Herbst on throttle, slip.
Whoa. That was a close one. We'll see how aggressive Palata wants to get this podium position back. We're talking about him racing for the win. He might not even be able to get to the podium unless he makes this move, but Herbst has slipstream. I don't think Palata's going to be able to do anything.
Everybody's scattering, trying to get the draft and the overlap and advantage on each other. Ooh, that's tight.
Woo.
Herbst right to the bumper of King. He's going to slide wide, drop a tire in the dirt. Here comes Palata with a run now.
Going to try to shut the inside off. Meanwhile, battle at the back. Bob Casera's up to the 6th position. Lauzon and Schnorr side by side. They're side by side at 7. That's not where you want to be side by side, but they're going to make it work.
Oh, Herbst!
Battle. Herbst wide.
He touched the grass mid-corner and lost the position, but now King solidly into second as the 96 and 89 went after it for a moment. They've fizzled that battle as we go back to the 7th place. Lauzon, Schnorr, and Robbins, as you were just talking about, Connor.
They were side by side into turn 7. Don't know how they made it work, but no one crashed. It's Bob Casera, the big winner, already pulled away from these guys a little bit. Lauzon and Schnorr just bumper to bumper with each other this entire race, and now Will Robbins getting himself into the mix as well.
Great battles all around. Big car, small track. That's for sure. About 5 minutes left in this race, a little less than that. But Alceel has gained an advantage, one that he desperately needed, as Jake King goes defensive on Palata to try to break that draft into Island Bend.
I don't know if I'd be doing that. You got to focus on catching Alceel. I don't think breaking the draft is really the move, but maybe he thinks, yeah, I don't know, maybe he thinks his best option is to keep Palata away from him if he wants a chance at the win, or he's just thinking about second.
Well, I don't think that you're going to catch Alceel at this point unless he makes a mistake. I think you're going to have to rely on second place being like the win for Andrew Palata at this point. 4 minutes to go. You know, we talked earlier about how these cars and this track don't really match up very well. But, you know, it is a misconception that these cars are momentum cars. To be fast, you need it to be a momentum car. You have to drive it like a momentum car. If you go off into every corner, braking as late as possible.
Crash in the back. Will Robbins crashed. Peter Schnorr as well. That was turn 7. Side by side there. They tried it again, and it didn't work.
Let's have a look at it.
Schnorr's already wide on the straightaway.
Schnorr's in the blue. Right behind him. They go off into the corner, and just that,
yeah,
not going to work.
It's not going to work. Never going to work. Oh, that's a big hit for Schnorr.
Those cars down at the bottom of the order now for second place. 3 minutes to go, and Palata is back on King.
Ken Alceel half a second faster than King last time by. This race is just about put to bed. Palata still fighting for that second position, trying to reclaim that position. he, in a way, unfairly lost, but he's going to have to make a pretty big move. He's going to go to the outside, barely any room there. King's giving it to him, sort of protecting the line there.
Here they come into the hairpin again. Does Palata sneak out of line? He's going to go driver's left. Crossover here potentially. Too wide.
He's too
sideways at the exit of the hairpin, and Herbst is back for more.
I love the banking. Kind of gives you a little bit of a different perspective on getting out of sort of those hairpin corners. That was very impressive. They both held onto it. Palata's got the run, though. How aggressive is he going to get?
Here they go. King has the preferred line. I think Palata's going to have to back out and try to get him on exit. Here comes Herbst, though, to keep the pressure on.
I think Palata wanted a crossover, but didn't time it well enough. He kind of entered the apex too late to get enough of a run. Now he's going to have to gain that position, gain that time all the way back to fight for that position.
Out front, Canal Seal is clear by almost 3 seconds. And we should have 2 laps to go. We might have 1. 2 minutes, about a minute, 38-second lap. Oh, Herbst took a big stab at Palata. Not enough, though. 2 laps to go this time through. How Seal comes across the line, leads by 2.9. King has much smaller of an advantage over Palata, and this one's still in flux.
This is so interesting. Everyone I'm watching on these exits aren't really accustomed to not having runoff room. Everyone's dipping 2 tires in the grass every single time I watch someone.
It's just hard not to here. The way that these cars naturally want to wash wide, you sort of have to let it. Palata drops 2 tires here. Oh, misshift, Jake King.
Yep. That's going to cost him probably the position. Palata has big overlap now, but he's going to still send it to the inside. Is Herbst going to try even dare for 3 wide? I don't think he has anywhere to go. Don't do it.
Don't think there is. This
Jake
should
King
be advantage Palata, though, at corner exit.
Yeah, he's going to make it work. Not quite clear just yet. How hard will Jake King fight it? He's going to just chop the rear bumper, just barely getting behind, clear of Palata. I think he just wanted to get in front of Herbst for the most part. He'll shove him. He'll get back out of line.
Yeah, this is a pretty critical moment for Jake King. I don't think he's going to have much of an opportunity to get back by Palata. He's going to have to pressure him and make him lift. Side by side.
Oh,
no, they're going to go there. Oh, boy, look out. They touch.
Oh, it's
King.
Big hit.
Oh.
Into the guardrail. I thought it was going to work. It just quite didn't. Now here comes Kyle Herbst for the 2nd position after that scrabble.
And he's going to have it. No, they're going to touch again, and he lifts.
Oh, I thought he was going to send Palata around. Palata's cheated death twice now.
Cheated death is a great way to describe that. Let's have a look. Going back a little ways, here's that crash again from a different angle.
I thought Jake King made the move of the century, sticking it to the outside. It just almost worked, but just had to turn it back right to get back on track. Huge hit driver's side. Can't understate how big of a hit that is. That car is totaled.
Final lap for Canal Seal. White flag this time around. And the battle has now shifted between Robbie Wilson and Kevin Zhu. 7th for the 171, 8th for the 243.
Jake King actually still came out in 4th, but he's going to have Bob Cusera, Peter Lauzon with clean Mustangs, relatively clean Mustangs behind him, so not much to defend with. Battle for 2nd, kind of cooled down side by side into turn 1. That was almost a big chop. Robbie Wilson trying to defend, not able to do it. Kevin Zhu off into the grass as well. They cannot keep all 4 tires on the track, and I can't blame them.
Adam Koback right behind. Look at the dive from Wilson up the inside. He'll take that spot back.
That was impressive. Just the integrity that car showed to get into the corner there, and he took it with authority. Kevin Zhu had nothing he could do there.
Here's Koback now right to the rear bumper of Kevin Zhu as the 2 fight in front.
Robbie hit the curb a little bit. Not going to get the best run. All over the rear bumper comes Kevin Zhu. Missed a shift, though. That's going to really cost him. Koback has to swerve to get out of the way.
And he'll take the spot while he's at it. Meanwhile, up front for Canal Seal through Druids, this season has been an up and down one for him in the Mustang category. But after taking advantage of a strong qualifying effort and letting Palata flail behind, battling Kyle Herbst and Jake King, Canal Seal is going to come through the last couple of corners, and it'll be checkered flag and a win for the number 23 in the last round of the season. He'll pick up Oulton Park.
Palata's going to get 2nd. Kyle Herbst 3rd. Great win for Hal Seal. They were squabbling for the 2nd position, and he just pulled away after that. Jake King's going to still come home with a 4th place finish despite a destroyed Mustang. Battle for, I believe, the 8th position still on Koback. A little bit of over-under, slides out of the corner. It's going to be a drag race.
Here they come. Koback has it. I don't think Zhu's got the legs to get there. It's close, but not quite. Kobach 8th, Zoo 9th. But all that said and done, Palata still the champion. Won that last week at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. He will remain champion here, even with a second place finish to Ken House-Seal. That was a wild one. Here is a look at your results from Oulton Park in the Mustangs. Don't go anywhere yet. We got a TCR race coming up in a few minutes. House-Seal, Palata, Herbst, King, Casera, your top 5. Back live from Oulton Park for the season finale of the Washington, D.C. Region SCCA Virtual Racing League. Kyle Heyer and Connor Horn bringing you the last round of the points-paying season. The Mustangs are done and complete. Now we move our attention to the front-wheel drive touring cars and including a new challenger, Connor. As of yesterday, the new Hyundai Veloster NTC. A new car to join the Hyundai ranks in the TCR category, so a fourth car. I don't even know if we have anybody in that car tonight, but we'll be looking around to try to see if we can find one. A lot of Elantras, a lot of Audis, and a lot of Hondas, and yes, there is Murphy Nichols repping the new Veloster as well tonight. There he is, looks great. A fun-looking new car, and it'll add to the complexities of this multi-make interaction.
At least so far. I thought I saw someone else with it, but maybe it was Murphy Nichols resetting back to the pits. But it's interesting to see how he performs. He's always usually one of the more fast drivers. Maybe sometimes doesn't get the finish he deserves. We'll see if he can do better tonight. Trying to look. I was looking to find one of these Velosters, but I come to realize there's a lot of Honda representation tonight.
Yeah, that's pretty easy to see if you have a look at the left-hand side of the screen, and all of the top 15, with the exception of Jack Chrissy, who is running the Hyundai Elantra NTCR. They are all Hondas. There are a couple of Audis deep in the field. One of them we've got to keep a firm eye on. Well, I thought it was going to say Morgan Burkhardt, but he's in a Honda. Well, it's his Chris Harp is in an Audi, and there's not a ton of these things out here. This is not the car I would have chosen for tonight, though. I think the Honda or the Hyundai probably would have been the better vehicle to choose. The Hyundais and the Hondas are a little bit better at the smaller, tighter, and twistier tracks, which this kind of falls into that category. The Audi, a bit more of a straight line machine. This is not the track for that car this week.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But we haven't really seen a lot of Audi representation, even at the tracks that we might feel like they succeed the most. We haven't really seen a lot of them, so a lot of these drivers just not really wanting to take a chance on a car that really only has maybe one significant strength in it.
Ken Ausiel right to the top of the board. He has been on it this week in terms of qualifying pace. Has this one by over a tenth. Jack Chrissy just went second quick. Andrew Palata third quick in this one. Alessandrini, Herbst, Rushing, Taggart, Hadjasek, Lausen, and Robbins the rest of the top 10. And Murphy Nichols in that Veloster. 3 minutes away from not having a time here in qualifying. Darian Taggart goes third quick in an ASM Honda Civic.
Pretty quick for him, a 133.855. That's where he stands. I think he's actually coming out of one of the final corners to put down his final lap. Yes, he is. So we'll see if he can do a little bit better. Needs about 2/10 to take provisional pole. Not quite. I apologize. I think I was on replay. That's my fault. But a 133.334, really good for third place. It's not usually accustomed to seeing him up in a qualifying order like that. So that's really big for him to get a key start tonight.
Start is going to be key. We saw how tricky it was to pass. There was a lot of side-by-side in the Mustang race, but actually changing positions was more off of drivers' mistakes and other people battling than it was initiating and completing a pass the old-fashioned way. So it's going to be a challenge tonight, and qualifying is going to be a big piece of it. Alessandrini goes third quick. That's a good lap for him. He's the points leader coming into the night.
Yeah, points leader, I believe, by about 22 points over Morgan Burkhardt. Burkhardt had that incident at Mid-Ohio, racing for the lead, challenging for the lead, couldn't avoid. I believe it was, if I remember correctly, it was one of the Caceras that he ran into, unfortunately, after a battle for the lead. Put him back from, I believe, 1 point behind or 1 point ahead the week before, back to 22. So if he wants any shot at it, he needs a lot of help.
So about a minute and 30 seconds left here in qualifying. Alessandrini is on his final flyer. Murphy Nichols still has yet to lay down a time. He's on a flyer now. Again, staying on the track is a challenge. You can see that the tires dipping here. These cars significantly quicker. They're not as heavy and not as wide, Connor, but I think the challenge is going to come in the extra speed and downforce. Makes mistakes a lot easier to make when you're at speed. Things happen a lot faster.
It might work out a lot better for the guys who didn't run a Mustang, like Murphy Nichols, DJ Alessandrini, Jack Chrissy. Those guys just getting accustomed to a TCR and making sure they're fast at those. But guys like Ken Ausiel, who did run the Mustangs, are still at the top of the board, and with quick, actually, Ken Ausiel, no quick practice laps, just a really fast qualifying lap. Andrew Palata's 5th. So even that transition from Mustang to TCR, as big as that transition is, doesn't seem to be dampening these drivers' speed so far.
Will say I am a big fan of how the Veloster looks. Originally, when they released the Elantra, I was actually disappointed that this wasn't the Hyundai that they had chosen, and thankfully, they have now released both. And interestingly, I thought the Elantra was supposed to replace the Veloster in real life, but they're actually currently still selling both models of car, which is unique. Typically, Connor, when you got a multi-make racing series, it's one from every manufacturer. Not often do you see two.
Yeah, it is pretty rare for sure. Murphy Nichols, that lap didn't count as well, so he won't get a lap down. Just about the end of qualifying. Jermaine Major, Carlos Pratt, those three, Pratt, Major, and Nichols won't put time downs.
Well, I think the other thing with Murphy is his lap times are not complete because he's blinking out. He's got some internet issues keeping him from recording laps. Let's head down to the racetrack and get through our starting lineup here before we kick things off. On the front row tonight, in first position will be Ken Houseel, the number 23, fresh off a win in the Mustangs. He'll start alongside DJ Alessandrini, who ended up bumping up to second.
Double poles for Houseel tonight. Alessandrini trying to get another win. Third place, Jack Chrissy, the highest up Hyundai, in third with a 133.222. Alongside him, Darian Taggart with a fourth place qualifying run. Very strong for him.
In row number 3 will be Andrew Palata, the number 96, winner in the Mustang category overall this season, but starts 5th in this race. Kyle Herbst starts 6th in the number 89. Those two had a run-in the previous race. We'll see if it carries over.
Hope those two can keep it on track, especially Herbst. He struggled a lot in the TCRs. Back to 7th place, row 4, Wojtek Hajicek in the number 4 machine. Alongside him will be Todd Rushing.
In row number 5, it'll be Peter Lausen in the number 19. Will Robbins rolls off 10th in the number 35 car.
Another row of Hondas. What a surprise. Row number 6 is Faraz Barzinji. Alongside him, Morgan Burkhardt. Burkhardt 22 points behind Alessandrini. Definitely pretty much a foregone conclusion for the championship, but you just never quite know.
Kevin Zhu rolls off 13th, and Adam Koback will start alongside him in the 14th spot.
Robbie Wilson, 15th place, had a pretty exciting race in the Mustangs earlier tonight. Mark LeBancs will start alongside him in the 16th position.
All right, finishing out the rest of the order here, Louis Alessi in the number 43 starts 17th. Chris Harp rolls off 18th in the number 462.
The final row with a qualifier, Adam Crandall, 19th place, and the first driver to not put a time down after his blinking was Murphy Nichols in the 22.
And finishing out the rest of our order here, Connor, in the 183, that'll be Carlos Pratt. It'll be 21st place. Jermaine Major will be our last place starter in the number 5. Field rolling off. Let's have a look at the weather information for today's race. Just like it was previously, 64 in the air, 70 in the track. That means nice, cool, grippy conditions. Should be a lot of fun. As soon as that green flag flies, it'll be 20 minutes of racing. And it'll be this man, DJ Alessandrini, the number 61, going for gold in the overall season championship and winning himself potentially a Track Night in America entry for 2022.
We'll see what Houseel can do on this start. He got a little bit of a challenge from Palata in the Mustangs, but Palata never really mounted a charge or a attempt. He really never really attempted a pass for the lead. We'll see if Alessandrini races differently.
Paired up, packed up. Pace car pulls away. About 13 laps of racing, 20 minutes on the board. Houseel, Alessandrini. Green flag, we're racing at Oulton Park. Trouble, and Alessandrini slides. Will he crash the car? He's going to slide back into traffic. Look out. And off in the grass he goes, and just like that, tumbles to 20th, and the mission is on. Houseel out front.
Yeah, that was, I can't really put that fully on Jack Chrissy. Chrissy sort of shoved it to the inside, but Alessandrini really tried chopping him off, and Chrissy wasn't willing to back out.
Morgan
sort of came together.
Morgan Burkhardt is on a mission now to try to grab any positions he can. This is his only opportunity. Car off in front of him. That's the 19 car of Lausen, and bam.
Yeah, that was nothing you can do. If you get into the grass on the exit of that corner, you're pretty much dead meat.
Wow, Alessandrini up to 19th. His climb just got a lot more difficult as drivers battle in front. Morgan Burkhardt is one of these with his championship rival buried in the order. He needs to make up ground while he can. 9th place, going for 8th now on Will Robbins.
2x2 into turn 7. That's never going to work. Robbins around. He's going to go into the tire barrier pretty hard. It's never going to work there.
No, it's not. And for 2nd place, Palata and Chrissy.
Oh, that's not going to work either. They're almost making contact. Chrissy not giving Palata any sort of room to work with. He's going to slingshot back to the outside.
Oh, dramas early. This could definitely impact the championship. Here comes Palata in the Honda to the inside door of the number 6. That's for second place. Darian Taggart's right behind.
Those two are going to almost door. Chrissy Palata. Chrissy's going to get the spot. Darian Taggart's going to try to follow through for the podium position. Can't make it work.
Behind him, Herbst and Hadjisek fighting for position. Everybody's off course in turn 1. Alessandrini back up to 17th. He's going to have to pick and climb. This gap for the championship is going to be a lot smaller than I think he hoped for it to be, as the next drivers on the list are Carlos Pratt and Louis Alessi. But even with the best laps that Alessandrini can do, I foresee a top 10, but maybe not much more.
I think, yeah, that's...
Oh, no!
Oh, no! Chrissy's...
Look out. He got through. Chrissy almost got nosed off the track. Now Taggart takes evasive action.
Chrissy sort of turned in on him, though. Palata sort of held his line. Chrissy tried to shut off the inside to Taggart now, but Palata sort of held his line. Chrissy tried to really pinch him, and Palata was having none of it. I'm glad they didn't crash it pretty hard. That's not a good time to get hit there, because there's a tire barrier right out of the exit.
Dukin and Diven, left, right, left, right. Chrissy carries good speed.
Botek, Hadjisek, Kyle Herbst, they're going to come together. They hit. They're going to go sliding. Hadjisek, huge hit. And at Oreo, Honda, huge impact again.
Drivers falling off the list and dropping like flies. Morgan Burkhardt is down to 10th after all the dramas he had. And Alessandrini's back up to 15th. Burkhardt's off track again.
Might be trying too hard. He knows if he could win and maybe Alessandrini doesn't get many positions, there might be a shot for him. Just trying to push really hard to get these spots, but just not making much progress.
Bottoming out the splitter, climbing up the hill for second place. The battle's still on. Palata, Chrissy Taggart.
This is not something we saw in the Mustang race. Herbst a little wide there, but we didn't really see Ken Alseal pull away until the late stages of that race. Now he's already got a gap. He's pretty much already at a slipstream range. It could be smooth sailing if he can keep it on track.
Oh, Taggart takes a peek to the inside of Chrissy. That was almost disaster.
Can't really be blocking like that. Chrissy, he was already looking protective, but a few swerves here and there. They've already been doing that, Chrissy and Taggart. It's going to end poorly soon if that continues.
Morgan Burkhardt bounces next to Robbie Wilson. That was almost a touch there.
Oh, that is a touch.
Faraz Barzinji gives up a spot to Murphy Nichols, who's up to 11th. Alessandrini back in 14th. Still frantically climbing up the order.
Able to make it work so far. Haven't really been losing time making these passes, just methodically working through them, working through the attrition, not being a big part of it, even though his lap one instance says otherwise. Wilson and Burkhardt still single file. I think these drivers are realizing that single file is the only way to get through turn 7.
In one piece anyway. Here's Burkhardt on Robbie Wilson for 9th. This is not the track that I expected Burkhardt to struggle with this season, but 10th is not going to do it in the championship.
He's really having to fight Robbie Wilson hard. Wilson not giving it up too easily, sort of protecting the line a little bit, maybe a little bit more contact there as he looks to the inside. Burkhardt does, shoves it down in there, able to make it work quite easily once he got positioning.
Behind him, Barzinji backed by Murphy Nichols, who drops in behind in the brand new Veloster and TCR.
Louis Alessi wide behind. Chris Harp's also a little wide into the tire barrier a little bit, but no one around him, no harm, no foul. Meanwhile, trying to look through a few battles. Andrew Palata's gotten clear for second, Chrissy clear for third as they all start to finally spread out a little bit here.
Yeah, finally gaining some racetrack to work with and just start plugging away some laps. The battle now for 11th. Murphy Nichols in the 22 on Faraz Barzinji. Going to try this again, side by side through Island Bend.
Really risky to go to the outside here. You get ran wide, your race is over. Able to keep it on track. Barzinji gave him room. Nichols does the same for Barzinji. Not a lot of room given there. Barzinji and Nichols contact. Barzinji saves it right in front of Alessandrini. Alessandrini to the back of him.
Yeah, it's going to hold up DJ. Again, I think given the struggles that Morgan has had, it's not going to affect DJ as much in the points as we had originally thought. And no damage on the 61, which is probably the primary concern. Every time you go around, if you damage the car, break the suspension, and you finish 20th, that would have been a big deal. But right now, climbing forward and doing this very quickly with everyone else's issues tonight.
Yeah, I'd say fortunate, but it's really a lot of skill behind the wheel, these TCRs that he's shown all season long, that he's able to do this. It's really the first time I can remember he's been in this spot all season long, so just got to work methodically through all these guys, and he's able to make it work quite flawlessly so far.
Yeah, admittedly, he doesn't really like these cars that much, and it has been a bit of a challenge for him. You know, you throw him in a Miata and he'll crush everybody, but throw him in a TCR and the challenge is certainly more clear. But rebounding nicely at the moment. With everyone singled out for now, Houseel is able to set sail again. And this has just been his night here at Oulton Park.
It has been for the most part, but I do have to say, it's not smooth sailing just quite yet. Last time by, Andrew Palata was about 4/10 quicker, so chasing down that 23 quite quickly could soon be in slipstream range.
Houseel, right side tires on the curbing. Meanwhile, Burkhardt and Kobach for 8th place. These are positions that Burkhardt needs if he stands any chance of beating Alessandrini tonight, even with DJ climbing back up through the order. There's always the possibility he gets caught up in something else. So you need to keep the attack on. Look at this to the inside.
Wow, that is such a move right there. Can't quite make it work. Alessandrini not really happy with Nichols, mainly because of the internet, not really Murphy Nichols' driving ability. Not really anything Nichols can do about it.
Not at this point. You're kind of committed. But DJ's stuck in 12th right now and running out of laps to make it up into the top 10 or top 5. And oh no, boy. Made that work somehow.
Somehow. It's not over quite yet. They're going to go door to door. Got to be careful here for Alessandrini. Give him all the room he might potentially need. Nichols sort of lifts a little bit, not giving it up quite yet to the left rear. Finally has to cut back in line.
Yeah, that's going to give Alessandrini the spot now for 11th as he continues his climb forward. Nichols is going to fight him back to the inside here. Not going to have enough brakes to do it. Here comes Barzinji, who lost the position to Nichols. That battle is going to reignite. Smoldering at the moment.
Yeah, Alessandrini really not happy with how much Murphy Nichols fought him there, but can't really blame Murphy Nichols battling for his position. One thing I'm trying to note, that battle probably getting a little bit smaller, that gap getting smaller, but look at all the dirt and island bend. I haven't seen the turn like that really ever. Didn't see it really in the Mustang class, but that corner is pretty much all used up.
Yeah, there's a lot of dirt over there, but you were right to mention the lap time difference. Have a look at this. Last lap for Palata, a 1:33.242. That is quicker than the 1:33.304 that Houseel put up. And just like previously in the Mustang race, Palata is quicker. This time, less possibility for intervention from third and beyond.
Alessandrini! Alessandrini's gone off. He spun.
Oh, man. And
he spun all on his own.
Is there damage?
I think that was Island Bend as well. We just talked about it. I don't think there's too much damage.
Oh,
one of the barriers a little bit.
He hit the wall pretty hard, actually. Here's a look at it.
Let's see.
Right there.
Entering.
And then, he's on exit. He also got clipped. And then here, that's a pretty big hit, actually.
That is a pretty big hit. That's put him pretty far back. The little bit of grass on entry and then the middle of the corner, Island Bend, all that dirt there sort of just shot him offline. I don't think he was expecting it.
Yeah, this is, the kind of race where Morgan Burkhardt really needed to be able to take advantage of all these issues. And running 8th is not going to do it. If he was 2nd or 1st, I'd say he's really got a really good shot of coming away with the championship tonight, but not where he's running. As we watch the battle for 6th between Todd Rushing and Kevin Zhu.
Burkhardt's right behind this, so hopefully if these two if these two battle, he can get both these positions. Him and Zhu battling pretty hard right now. Todd Rushing's gotten a position, Kevin Zhu not letting it go too easily, and Burkhardt just waiting to try to make some sort of move.
I don't think he can afford to wait. I mean, we're already halfway through this race, and Alessandrini, while he's had issues, is not wasting any time coming back through the field. He's going to have to do 3rd or better before I really consider that a realistic opportunity, even with DJ falling down the order.
Yeah, I think it might even take a win at this point, because really, as far as the points have gone, not much differential from 3rd on down, so he really has to be on his game, and somehow he has to pull a 10-second gap all the way back as he's flashing lights, upset with these two in front of him, but nothing he can do. They've pretty much been outrunning him this entire race, and Burkhardt hasn't had any attempt to pass.
Yeah, so winning the race gives you 25 points. If you're running 14th, it's going to give you 7 points. So that difference is only 18 at the moment, which is not going to do it, even if Burkhardt were to win. So it would require Alessandrini to fall even further down the order for that win to be a realistic possibility, and Burkhardt needs to win this race.
And it just doesn't look like that's really going to be the case, but if these front runners start battling, you never know what could happen. We saw what happened last race, so not out of the cards quite yet. Andrew Palata's pretty much caught up to Ken Houseel now.
Yeah, I'd call that caught. Now there's some lap traffic. That's Will Robbins. He shouldn't pose too much of a blockage here, but Houseel is feeling the pressure. There's 8.5 minutes to go, and now it's game on.
definitely game on for sure. It's top 10. Burkhardt, Zoo, and Rushing still on top of each other. Zoo sort of hit the curb a little bit. Burkhardt's going to have a look for the 7th position.
Into the hairpin. Nose to tail. Half a car length there.
All over him. Back to square one as well. We saw with the Mustangs, this is exactly how the racing was earlier. He was catching him in turn 7, but nowhere else, and he still can't make that move.
Yeah, Houseal's really good through 7 also, so it's not like Palata's crushing him there either. Even though it's hard to pass, he's not really gaining that much ground there either. But look at Palata right to the rear bumper now through Druids. This is the corner that he struggled with in the Mustangs to gain ground. Houseal again trail braking, but Palata not able to close in.
Lost a little bit on exit, just a little bit too sort of loosey-goosey, I would say. Just can't really get the power down without being at risk of looping it, but still right there on Houseal. Just has to find somewhere to get a run and have a look. Just a look is all he needs to get by Houseal potentially.
Burkhardt into 7th place. Critical pass for the 2 car. Up front though, 7.5 minutes. That's about 4 laps worth of time. 5 laps rather. Here comes Palata with a look to the left, and the traffic is not coming as quickly as I thought. Robbins is pretty quick, so that might hold up Houseal just a touch.
Well, Robbins crashed out pretty early, got the fast repair and back on track, so he shouldn't really shouldn't be too much slower than these two because he was a top 10 car in his own right. But these two neck and neck for this race lead now as they go through the dirty bend, I guess at this point I would call it. Palata just needs to find a place to get a better run here. He just can't get close enough to even have any sort of look in the 7, obviously.
Robbins might lift here to facilitate this pass. He might not. Houseal up the hill. Yeah, there's Robbins lifting. Swing to the left. Palata will follow.
Palata, it's nothing he can do. He's sort of helpless. Just has to ride in the slipstream and just try to strategize how he's going to take turn 7 to get the run on Houseal.
He's better in places. They're just not the places where he can make a pass.
Just like in the Mustang races, it was the same exact thing. He just cannot figure out where to get the run.
He might have figured out where to get it. He just doesn't know how to get it at this point.
Now, how hard did he drive those tires off trying to erase that 2-second gap potentially?
Oh, 1 car. Kyle Herbst's way off track at the exit of Druids. And behind him, here's Morgan Burkhardt on Todd Rushing. This is for 6th.
Outside move.
Oh, he might have this here if he can swing back to the left. Oh, he's going to drop tires in the dirt. And when you do that, Connor, it's hard to get drive.
He got enough, though. He's going to get the run back. They're going to be dead even in turn number 1. It's brilliant if he can pull it off, but so tough to go through here side by side as well. He's going to keep it stuck to driver's left. They're going to almost rub doors. They pretty much did. Beautiful pass done there.
Yeah, he's got it done. Well done by Morgan Burkhardt. Up to 6th. Lead. And here they come. Here comes Palata to the inside of Island Bend.
Oh boy, they're going to make it work for now, but Palata, don't know how much he can do on the outside. Drives it in super deep. He has positioning now. Houseal trying to run it back to the inside. Dead even. He's going to drive Palata wide.
Palata's off in the grass. Thought he might have had him there for a second. Here's a look at it again from up above.
Yeah. What a good drive by Palata there, but Houseal's able to carry it through the center and on exit. Just pretty much runs Palata out of room just ever so slightly.
Yeah, just enough to make Palata drop some tires in the grass, and that will hold him off 7/10 of a second. All that time that Palata gained is now undone. Chris Harp, trouble for the 462. He's found himself in the tire bundles. Here's what that looked like.
I think he got the right sides, might have gotten the right sides off entering. Yep.
Wow.
That is so scary when that happens. It's just a helpless feeling.
Not much you can do about it once you get sideways. Rushing and Zoo battling. Morgan Burkhardt has found some legs here. He's ran faster than the leaders last time around. Was that one of the fastest cars on the track, but still 6th quick, or 6th faster, or 6th position, I should say. And it's not going to do him a whole lot of good. Alessandrini's up to 13th place, but that differential is not enough to lose a championship.
No, for sure it is not. But Alessandrini was making much better progress before his second incident. Now he just lost too much time because of that spin in Island Bend. He's right behind. He's actually just gotten by Louis Alacy for that 13th position. Still chasing Faraz Barzinci for 12th. Murphy Nichols, who he hasn't really been pleased with, just not too much farther up the road.
Oh, look out. Christie's really wide. He drops a tire, and Taggart is all over him.
They're able to not wreck it that time. That was close to being disaster for the race for the podium. Taggart's going to sort of protect from Chrissy a little bit here. Surprised he's doing that. Bad for the lead. Still sort of spaced out. Palata not quite close enough yet.
Yeah, Taggart was literally dropping tires in the grass, chasing Chrissy up the back straight. Here he comes to driver's left, putting Chrissy offline. Chrissy jumps on the brakes a little early, but squeezes through the corner and maintains the position for now. 3 minutes and 3 laps left to go. 2 to go next time by, and Palata is 3/10 back. Zhu rushing.
Wow, I don't know how he made that work. Kevin Zhu around the outside in turn 7. That is unbelievable.
Whoever's braver and rushing probably wants it back into Druids.
Oh, he's going to almost hit him there.
Well, they're both off track now. I think that's going to fizzle. Up front, 2 to go. Palata 3/10 back. He's going to get 1 shot at it if he closes up on Halcyon.
We didn't really get a good look at how he did it out of Cascades out of turn 3, but it might have been a mistake by High Seal. Maybe Palata has to hope he makes that mistake again, or if it was just on a better run, Palata's got to somehow duplicate that.
I don't know if that was the place where it would have been the most effective to pass him. He just kind of got lucky there in that particular lap to get alongside and be able to carry some speed, but it puts you at the side-by-side position into Island Bend. I don't think you want to be in that position. I think you'd rather be good into the penultimate corner on the racetrack after Druids. And he's gearing up to be in that position this lap if he can just close up another 5 or 6 feet.
I'd say if he could be on the bumper of him out of turn 5's hairpin, he could have a shot at maybe getting overlap before turn 7, but he just isn't able to keep it there because of maybe the tiny bit of dirty air that goes through there.
Oh, really good run for Halcyon. Carried great speed. They're going to have 1 more to go next time by. And Palata is running out of opportunities and running out of options.
Yeah, he just has to straight up do it here. There's no other way to put it. He just has to find some sort of way to will that Honda in front of Ken Halcyon at this point, as he has no pressure from behind now. Chrissy and Taggart were staying with him. They've dropped off now. It's just these two to race for the win.
1 lap to go at Oulton Park. 1 lap to go in the WDCR SCCA Virtual Racing League season. And across the line, white flag.
So what kind of run Palata's going to get out of turn 1. A very good run at that. He's going to get pretty close to the bumper up here. This might be another opportunity to make that same move. He backs off, trying to get the run out. Going to look to the inside. Halcyon's going to probably get a little bit of a better run. Palata's going to loosen him up. He got him a little bit loose there. Here comes Palata.
Side by side towards Island Bend. Is he going to lean a fender on him here?
He might run him wide. That might be his only option. Maybe run him a little bit wider than he wants
sideways.
To go. And he's going to touch. Palata and Halcyon kind of rub doors a little bit. Palata's clear now.
Wow. Palata takes the lead away. A little bit of a fender rub of the 96 to the top spot.
That was impressive. I don't know if Palata really ran him wide. I think Halcyon just got a little bit sideways. I don't know if Halcyon's going to be happy about it, but just looked like racing into Island Bend to me.
Yeah, I mean, Halcyon was offline there and just the right rear stepped out, and he kind of chased it back into Palata, so no harm there, but Halcyon's going to run out of corners to grab it back, and here, look at the advantage Palata gains with clear racetrack ahead. The 96 pulls ahead 2 car lengths.
I don't know if Halcyon has really anything else to do. Carlos press sideways, nothing doing there. Still the run for the lead, race for the win, not quite over just yet. Who knows what Ken Halcyon might try.
And Taggart and Chrissy still going at it here. Chrissy about a half a car width or car length back. But for Andrew Palata, he was denied a win in the Mustang race tonight, but he will not be denied in TCR. Final corner, final lap. Andrew Palata gets it done with a pass into the hairpin, and Palata wins in TCR here in the DC Region SCCA Virtual Racing League. Halcyon second. Then it's Chrissy, Taggart, Herbst, the rest of the top 5. Morgan Burkhardt, a valiant effort. He will not win the championship tonight. DJ Alessandrini. It all started all wrong, but he had a 41-point advantage over Andrew Palata, and he will walk away with a handful of points, and it should be enough to crown him champion this season.
And it was all because of how well he did earlier in the season. He could at least afford to have a little bit of a mistake and a little bit of an off in this race. Obviously not what he wanted, didn't want it to happen turn 1, lap 1, but he's able to survive and still finish inside the top 10 with a valiant effort, and he's been pretty much consistently one of the fastest drivers in these TCRs, and it's been fun watching him drive these things.
Here's a look at Andrew Palata winning by 0.4 of a second. over Halcyon, then Chrissy, Taggart, Herbst, and the rest of the order, Connor. That was a great battle all around, and Palata getting it done in the last lap there on Halcyon. An epic pass there.
Yeah, that was insanely impressive to be able to do that through Island Bend. A little bit of contact, but they kind of came door to door earlier out of the hairpin. I don't really think that was really Palata's fault anyways, but, you know, you get a door for a door, I would say. That's just hard racing going for a race win.
Down the rest of the order. Again, 20 drivers competing in this one. Lausen out early in a collision on the opening couple laps. We're going to talk to our winners and our champions in just a few moments. But Connor, we also have next week, we're going to have an event at Road America. The Kurt Derby will be a fun event at Road America, so we're going to have some more information on that one. It'll be live streamed on SimTV next Wednesday. But man, what an epic battle, what an epic season. And the Mustang and TCR has offered a good contrast as well.
Yeah, the Mustangs and TCR sort of in a way just completely different cars. You had the Mustangs, you know, with those H patterns, and we saw a lot of shifting errors. TCR's completely different shifting, obviously, a lot more grip. I believe front wheel drive with the TCRs. Mustangs, it almost seemed like no wheel drive at times with how slidey those Mustangs would get. But it made for such great racing, completely different sets of racing, I would say. Slipstream played a factor in both, but the Mustang, big and bulky, TCR, sort of sleek, I would say. It was just really fun watching pretty much two different disciplines of racing just absolutely deliver week in and week out.
Well, here is Jack Chrissy, who finished in third in this race in his Hyundai Elantra NTC. Jack, that was a wild one, battling with Darian Taggart, holding him off. Take us through your fight with the number 75 and recap your season for us.
Yeah, it was a tough one. I felt kind of bad taking out DJ. I mean, it was kind of inevitable. We were kind of run really tight and kind of got pinched in. So sorry about that, DJ. But yeah, I mean, the race went really well. Got a lot of pressure from Andrew early on, and then had pressure from Darian the whole race. I just kind of felt like through a couple of the corners I was a little bit quicker, but I feel like through most of the track he was able to kind of keep up and kind of used up all of my off tracks early on. So it was kind of hard being able to use those to my advantage towards the end. So I had to kind of drive a little bit careful for half a race. So it wasn't ideal.
It wasn't ideal, but you certainly got a podium out of it, and it was well earned there, Jack. Congratulations on not only your finish in the race, but also a really solid season. We look forward to seeing you again.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for a great season.
Thank you, Jack. Have a good one. Talk to DJ Alessandrini, who comes home not only as a top 10 finisher this week, but as a season champion in the TCR category. DJ, this was not the send-off I know you were hoping for in the TCR category and claiming your trophy, but all in all, champion, even with a 10th place. You built up that gap and used almost all of it up tonight.
Yeah, tonight didn't go very well. Still cool to come out with the overall championship, but yeah, you want to perform every round, and tonight just wasn't my night. I keep messing with my FOV on my virtual mirror, and I think it keeps biting me. I think I just need to leave it and get used to it.
Gotta have that spidey sense when there's someone next to you, for sure. But in general, this season has been a bit of a challenge for everybody, and these cars, again, wildly popular in iRacing now. You've admitted that you don't really like how these cars drive, but you have embraced the challenge across a variety of series and have kind of come to terms with it, at least some kind of tense piece with driving the TCRs. What's your feeling about how they race versus how they drive?
I mean, obviously they race better than they drive, but normally my success in iRacing comes down to like a car like hitting my lizard brain, and it's just really fun to do laps in. And I basically don't practice this car just because it's just not fun to drive. I was joking around with a buddy yesterday who said that it has engaged his lizard brain, and his results have been showing it. I made a joke that my lizard brain is sitting in the corner playing cards waiting for the TCRs to end.
Well, hey, they just did. And we got one more series to finish up on Tuesday to wrap up the TCRs for the winter. But all in all, it's been a really successful outing for you. And congratulations on the wins and the championship this season.
Thank you. I appreciate it, guys.
All right. Thanks, DJ. Moving on now to Andrew Palata, who was our champion in the Mustang category and the winner tonight in TCR. So taking home two different crowns this evening. Andrew capping off the TCR season with a win. And the Mustang season he wrapped up last week. But it wasn't without its trials and tribulations tonight. A battle with Ken all the way to the end on that last lap. Take us through not only that last lap pass, but also summarize your season in both series.
Yeah, so thanks, Kyle. So first of all, the really fun race with Ken tonight in both cars. The TCR race went a little bit better than I expected. I think part of it was doing a last-minute, last-round car swap to the Honda. It just seems to fit me a little bit better, and I think the pace showed a little bit more today than in previous weeks. But yeah, I mean, I kind of knew that I needed to. Honestly, I really just needed to finish in front of Ken in order to, I think, lock down third place maybe. So that meant I had to kind of take some chances, and especially on a track where it's really tough to pass, it just kind of took a lot of trust on both our parts to kind of make it happen. So we had a little bit of an impact there on the last lap. I'm not really quite sure what happened. I didn't get any noise or any 0x or anything on my end, but it's just weird iRacing things, I guess. And for the Mustang, it was a lot of fun, and really enjoyed all the rounds. And I think the Mustang probably suits me a little bit more than the TCR does. But hey, looking forward to next season and the Kurt Derby stuff, I think, next week. So lots of fun.
Andrew, thanks for talking to us. Congratulations on your season and the win in both Mustang and tonight in TCR. Fun to watch you race up there in the front, and if it makes you feel better, I don't think that contact was your fault. I think kind of got a little sideways to kind of chase the car back into you, so don't have a guilty conscience about that one.
I'll try not to. Thanks, Kyle.
Have a good night. Ken Alseal brought home the win in the Mustang category and finished second in TCR. Ken, tonight was a good night for you all around, but couldn't quite wrap up the win in TCR there at the end. Take us through your night and your season.
Yeah, the Mustang race was really fun. I knew it was going to be quite the battle. Hold on, I got a cat batting at my screen. We knew it was going to be quite the battle, big draft battle, and then Andrew missed a shift, and then it was like, okay, I have a little bit of breathing room, and then I don't know what happened behind me. I'll have to go back and watch the broadcast. It just sort of drove away. And then TCRs, I was slightly surprised I was on pole, and then DJ and Jack tangled in turn one. I don't know what happened there. And then I just didn't really have the race pace. But when we caught up to Will to lap him, I was getting drafted from like 2 seconds back, like significant. So I was not too surprised that Andrew caught me once I saw that. But then I don't know what really happened there on the last lap. Andrew and I talked about it. It just sort of ended up with him on top of me on my side, but on his side and on the broadcast, we just sort of bumped doors. And I just lost 15 miles an hour for whatever reason. So just weird netcode thing, no big deal. But really fun races tonight.
And really fun races across the season. And Ken, just to wrap things up, the champions, of course, there's Track Night in America entries to give away. Just summarize the DC Region's involvement. You kind of took the reins of this season. So what's on the agenda for the prizing for these drivers, and what do they get?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, took over the reins this year. Big thanks to Dave Fitzgerald for all the many years of service. And in the past, he coordinated with SCCA National Office and got us a couple Track Night in America coupons in the past for season champions. And last season, we were able to award one to a really clean driver. It ended up, in that case, it ended up going to Peter Schnorr as handed off from DJ Alessandrini, who won it but didn't have a track night car to use. And then he wins another one this season. So the season champions, Andrew and DJ, both get a track night entry. So I guess we'll see who DJ hands his off to. I know Andrew just got a new BRZ and is pretty excited to take on the track. So.
Well, that's awesome to hear, Ken. Hey, thanks so much for your help this season. And we got a couple more broadcasts in store, starting with the Kurt Derby next week. But thanks so much for being a part of this, and congratulations on the night and the season.
Thank you guys for being a part of it. Always doing a great job, so thank you.
All right, Ken, have a good night.
You too. Take it easy.
Wrapping things up, Connor, for the last time this season, WDCR SCCA Virtual Racing League Points Championships complete. Now we just look forward to some kind of off-season spring fun events, but points are done and over with.
It's going to be fun, no doubt about it. I loved every bit of this season. The Mustangs were so fun. Every single race was a complete blast. And the TCR races somehow always stepped it up a notch. Very entertaining. There was racing all across the board. Every single race, no matter if the track was big or small. Absolutely insane racing all season long. It's been so much fun.
Next up on Sim TV, well, this weekend we've got some action for you. It's going to be the return of the Outsider Racing League Road Racing, Watkins Glen, up on Saturday night at 10/9 Central. And then on Sunday, it's going to be the Texas Motor Speedway race for the Indy Elite Series. We'll see you there. 2 races this weekend, and then Grid Life iRacers season finale from VIR on Tuesday at 9/8 Central. Thanks so much for watching. Kyle Heyer and Connor Horn with you. We'll see you next week for the Kurt Derby.